Call to order the special council meeting of the City of Keystone Heights. Today is Wednesday, July 27th. It is 4 p.m. Ms. Rakowski, will you call roll, please?
Mayor Lake,
Here.
Vice Mayor Hart,
Here.
Councilman Bobby Brown,
Here.
Councilman Tony Brown. You've got two draft budgets that are in front of you for the general fund, which is affected by our millage rate. One is the current millage rate of 4.2901. The second is the rollback rate of 4.0344. The rollback rate is utilized to bring in the same amount of tax dollars revenue that we received last year. Because property taxes, that rate is lower. It is staff's recommendation to keep the millage rate the same, which will be a tax increase. That's something that we've done throughout the past several years, is not raising the millage rate, but not going backwards either. And so with that being said, under the 4.2901, the very draft budget is balanced with a zero balance. At the rollback rate, we do have about a $19,000 deficit that, if that's the will of the council, I'll have to go back and find an additional $20,000. So with that being said, it's up to the will of council if you want to go ahead and do a maximum millage rate, or if you want to discuss the proposed budget or the draft budget. And then also behind that, I do have a timeline for two budget workshops set in August, and then adoption for our budget and millage rate in September.
So I'll bring it back to council. Is there any conversation? This is our annual passing of the city's budget. As she said, we've kept the millage rate the same these last few years, and it's worked out financially for us in terms of being able to do some projects that we've wanted to do to improve facilities and other things inside city limits. Is there any conversation, any questions of staff, any discussion?
Well, with inflation running at 9%, if we go to the rollback rate and stretch that over a couple of years, who knows what mess we're going to be in. So I think the 4.2901 makes a lot more sense, and it is consistent with past practice.
And I will add that the 4.2901, the current millage rate, getting, because of inflation, the increase of costs, and then minimum wage, and the difficulty that we are having with hiring at what minimum wage is versus what's being paid in the private sector. A balanced budget was difficult to come by. We did have to, I don't want to say cut necessarily, but we had to be very, very specific and very aware of how and what we will be spending next year as far as our gas and things of that nature. So,
Mr. Brown, you had a comment?
I was going to say the same thing the Vice Mayor said. I think we need to stick with the 4.2901.
Any other comments, Mr. Brown or Ms. Thompson? I also support the 4.2901. Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes 5-0.
and then the second sheet outside of this packet does set two workshops in August. That's going around the supervisor of elections schedule, so they will be occupying our council room for a good period of August due to the elections. The first one is August 10th at 4 p.m. That's a Wednesday. We will be inviting all of the nonprofits and public to have conversations. I do have their asks ahead of time, and it's already been built in of what we generally fund. And then the second one will be basically a final budget workshop before we go into hearing.
Okay, so everyone, please mark your calendars. These are important dates for us. This is what we do.
And then Monday, September 12th, that will take in place of our regularly scheduled council meeting in September, because it is Labor Day. And so we will have first hearing and a regular council meeting on the 12th.
I'm just going to ask you about Labor Day.
As a reminder, I do need 5 of you here. Millage and budget, these are the two most important meetings of the year.
That's correct. All right. Is there any other business to come before council? Seeing none, meeting's adjourned.